catch it here in just a second. I turned down our sound so we can talk. Keep, no, no, it's not it. Keep scrolling. Keep going down. Keep going down. Keep going down.
Right there, isn't
Keep
it?
going down. Keep going down. Yeah, keep going down. Keep going down. Go ahead up here and refresh it. There's the little red icon now. Now we're in business. Now you scroll down to the timer. No, you're fine. Right there. Now hit the arrow. That's it. There we are. Good deal. Now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do the opening. You and I are gonna do the opening. I'm not gonna play analyst. I'm gonna play the music, and then I'll start, and then you just jump
Right
in
after
and,
that.
and be, use your enthusiasm and inflection, and like you're telling them about something that's the greatest thing in the whole wide world, because it is. 2 minutes. That's easy right there. Welcome to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. Wednesday night, coming to you live in Ooltewah, Tennessee. We're brought to you by Butcher Barbecue and the complete line of Butcher Barbecue products, rubs, injections, sauces, grilling oils, and supplies available at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply Store right next to the Midnight Oil in Ooltewah.
And also brought to you by the most popular drum smoker in the United States, the PBC, otherwise known as the Pit Barrel Cooker. Stop by Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply Store and see how easy it is to fit the PBC into your use at home and how affordable it really is.
And we're brought to you by Michelin Tires, available at Steve Ray's Midnight Oil in Ooltewah. You don't have to pay a lot to get more and get a quality ride. Performance, you can get it at Steve Ray's Midnight Oil. You only pay for the tire and sales tax and the out-the-door price. I'm going to say it, folks. Pay for the tires, not the building, everybody. Welcome to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. I'm Steve Ray. With me is neighbor Frank. And together we are the Owl's Nest Barbecue team coming to you live from Ottawa, Tennessee. We've got a great show tonight. Frank, the Pit Barrel Cooker, available at the Midnight Oil in Ottawa. My place. I'm going to move around a little bit so we can talk. $2.99.
$2.99. You can't beat it. You
Comes
can't
in a
buy
box.
it. Yeah.
Everything ready to go in that box.
And they cook a fantastic ribs, chicken, pork butt. I mean, it's a good little cooker.
Holds as much, if not more, than a green egg. At $2.99. $299. Not $1,200. $299.
And if you haven't seen one, come by Steve's place and see it. It really is. We saw one actually in use first time a couple years ago at a barbecue contest in Ottawa, and the guy shows up, rolls out of the back of his truck, looked like a couple of oil drums, and he won the contest.
And Jay Frankovich.
Jay Frankovich.
That was before that. We didn't even know what a drum smoker
I've never
was.
seen one before.
We said Jay Frankovich pulls up and we go, what's this hillbilly got? And boy, we found out what he had. He waxed us.
He got a butt kicking.
He waxed everybody. I mean, he won, and folks, he didn't win.
Resounding.
He won.
Yeah, he won. Big time.
It was first Jay Frankovich, America's Cookers or America's Smokers,
America's Smokers,
and then the next person,
everybody else,
and everybody else. So the Pit Barrel Cooker we've got at the Midnight Oil Noodle. Hey, we continue our monthly countdown to March 30th when the UTC football spring game is, and it is fastly approaching.
Yep.
March 30th at the Pavilion starts. We get there about 7, but you can come down with what's the name of that? Not Pilgrim's Pride. What's the other one? The other chicken place down there. I will think of it in a minute.
Seaboard Farms.
No, not them.
Seaboard.
No, it's not them. Somebody. I'm embarrassed because we should know this.
Yeah.
And I'll bet if Eddie O'Brien's watching, he's stabbing himself in the temple with his ink pen right now. But anyway, they are going to donate chicken. So what they're going to do, they're going to give the teams chicken. And we're going to cook, and we're going to turn in chicken to judges. But we're going to cook and give it away to people. So there's no charge, Frank. They just come in and we just
sample it.
Just kind of give them samples of chicken. And it's
what better can you? What more can you ask for?
Oh, it's great. It's a great
football
thing.
Game, great time, and free food.
And in the Pavilion, doesn't matter. Rain, thunderstorm, doesn't matter. Hot sun, doesn't matter. We're going to be inside,
which is great.
Which in the First Tennessee Pavilion, and we promised you that every show we would have a guest, and they would give us a special chicken wing
tutorial.
Tutorial recipe.
Yeah.
And do you know who we have tonight?
Surprise me.
Well, folks, we have got a barbecue legend. Doesn't do this man proper. I'm just going to say his name, Mike Davis. Mike Davis is one of the inventors of competition barbecue.
Yeah. He
is one of those guys that started competing and took it to the next level.
To the point
just
of
incredible.
Winning the Kansas City Royal, has competed at Jack Daniels in Lynchburg.
Mm-hmm.
Just one. You don't get any better than him.
Memphis in May. He's a pit builder. He's a marketer, and we are going to get him on the horn right now. So we're going to hide behind this little screen right here, and then we're going to go to this other screen right here. I should have some music playing, but I don't have it queued up. But that's all right. You can see the behind the scenes stuff here. We're gonna roll right over here. We'll make sure Mike gets up there. Uh-oh. Now we practiced this. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike, can you hear us?
I can. How about you?
I can hear you great. Turn
audio.
your camera on.
Okay, hang on.
I know. It's hard.
It's technology stuff.
There he is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Davis coming to you. I guess you are at home.
Yeah,
And
keep thinking it's,
I guess you
I
are.
am at home. Yes, sir.
And that is in, you're not going
Delight, Arkansas.
Delight, Arkansas. Where's nothing else?
Mike, just real out of curiosity, what's all that stuff up there behind you? I've never seen that kind
That's
of stuff
bowling
before.
trophies. I was quite the bowler back in the
Oh,
day.
a bowler. Okay.
Frank, if you're going to turn around, you talk into that microphone because you're a very interesting fellow, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Mike Davis, obviously, I'm gonna say legend, but you're so much more than that. From Delight, Arkansas, team name, a lot of bull barbecue. I got to compete against you. You probably don't remember in Nashville at the National Barbecue Cup a few years ago.
I remember that contest.
Yeah, you were there, and I was, my problem with barbecue. I walk around and I'm starstruck. I see all these guys that I've seen on television, and these guys that have just set the pace in made competition barbecue. I mean, Mike, seriously, people like you guys did the back work, didn't you? Y'all, I mean, you were there when it was young and unorganized.
Yeah, we were there when it was, kind of starting out. We actually started cooking in the Texas circuit and didn't go to KCBS for a few years after that. And anyway, yeah, we were doing the contest. This thing, I don't know if you're seeing that or not.
Yeah, I can see you great. Yeah. You look perfect. You look great.
Okay. Back when we started, entry fees weren't $300-400, and you were cooking a select brisket or a choice if you could get your hand on it. And that kind of thing. So, but yeah, we started. It was a very, very different time than what it is now.
And fast forward to 2019, and you're still blazing the trail. What I want to do is I want to do a little bit before we go into the wing thing that we're gonna make you. I think what we'll do is we'll just turn off Facebook. We'll just talk to you about the wing thing because we can cheat with the best of them, right, Frank?
There you go.
It ain't nothing for us to cheat at a wing contest. Hey, let's start out at the beginning. You and did you and your wife start a lot of bull barbecue, or what was the impetus of that, and what years are we talking about?
Yeah, actually, my brother-in-law and I started cooking together. I got guys that keep texting me. I'm trying to get that off my screen.
Yeah, well, I can't see it.
You can't see it?
No, it's good.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, we started that probably 1993, I think.
Wow.
Sometime in there, we went to a little Texas contest. Just thought it'd be fun. We built the smoker in my driveway. I was living in Texas at the time, and he was a welder and I was a cooker, and we thought it'd just be a fun time. And we went off down to Palestine, Texas, entered this contest. There was 100-something teams there, and we thought, we'll kick a little butt, take a few names, and we'll just take a little money home. Well, that's all well and good, except for about 3 o'clock in the morning, everything we had was done, and we had nowhere to hold it. So, it was March, it was cold, and we had a good lesson that day.
Yeah.
We stood around and we congratulated everybody that had won, clapped for them, and then we just kind of stuck on out the gate. So.
And you went home and worked on timelines, I guess, didn't you?
We did.
Because everybody knows how to cook.
With tail between legs.
So when did you start to hit the KCBS, Kansas City Barbecue Society circuit?
That was around 2000 when we started that. We had a lot of mentoring going on up until that point with Jeff Shivers out of Texas. Jeff is a great guy, still a good friend, and he taught me everything he knew. And if you ask him, he said, "Yeah, that took me 5 minutes to do that," but that's not true. Jeff is a wealth of information, especially about barbecue, and he's just an all-around great guy. Help anybody in the world, and that's where we really got our start. Was through that. And what went to KCBS and kind of hung around some people. the good Lord give you 2 ears and 1 mouth, and if for good reason. You
Yeah.
need to listen and not talk so much. It's amazing what you can go around and just kind of friend these guys and just listen to what they're doing and figure out, and come back next week and whoop them.
In 2000, what were the big names on the KCBS circuit in those days? Other than Laudable Barbecue, because I'm sure you brought the. I'm sure when people saw you signing up, their buddy went, "Oh no."
Well, that actually came about 2000 when that started happening. I'm trying to think. You had a lot of Texas teams that were coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie Wade, for one, Blazing Barbecue out of Texas, phenomenal cooker. And of course, Smoking Triggers was part of that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal cooker there too. Still is today, I suppose. Um, most of the cookers that were then are not now, and I don't mean it to forget them, but they kind of slipped my mind.
Well, it seems like it rolls over about every I've only been in it since, gosh, when Frank 2014.
14.
Yeah, heavy late 2013, 2014. And
Right.
it seems like when I pay close attention, it seems like the teams roll over, people roll out, and new teams roll in, and I guess it's because it's such an intense, it's such an intense thing to cook a full year of
It is.
competitive
And
barbecue.
at that point, and I do remember that, whether we went to Kansas City or whether we went to over in Mississippi or Alabama, even Kentucky, at that time there was a different set of cookers. Nobody really ran the circuit like we did then.
Mm-hmm.
Even in that time, we were doing 30 contests a year. Holding down a
Lord.
full-time job and trying to get this done. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was
That's
really
brutal.
consuming, is what it
It's
was.
brutal.
And that as we went on from 2002, 2003 on up in there, then you started seeing these guys stay out longer, do
Mhm.
more contests, take off from work and go 500 or 600 miles and do one. Where before they were doing one, 20, 50, 100 miles from home. That was a long ways for them to go.
Yeah.
And at that point, we were living in Oklahoma, and we decided, if we're going to do this, we got to get in and do it. The only thing that really changes is what the entry fees were going up, but the prize money kept going up. So the only thing that changed was the travel expense
Mm-hmm.
for us.
And going to a contest, it's not bad when if a contest is, say, 250 miles away and you're going down Friday, it's not bad. It's the hard part is Saturday afternoon making that drive back.
Right.
When you
Yeah.
just made it, when you just really barely made it 30 hours before. Because
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
think about
that-
a bar. People don't realize a barbecue competition doesn't last long.
No,
It's
it
just
does not.
it's just you're up continually for what, 36 hours just about.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
whipped. By the time Saturday
Depending on how
afternoon's
you
over.
cook and I'm sure all you guys back then, I mean, it was all going slow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
up all night, manning those.
Nobody cooked hot and fast back in those days. Nobody did.
And I'm assuming everybody had stick burners,
Yes.
offsets.
Yes. Nobody used a pellet grill. Well, I take that back. There's some little guy up in Kansas City. I don't know. You may have heard of him. Eddie Morin,
Yeah,
Fast Eddie.
Fast Eddie.
He was the only one that was using the pellets back in that day. And he got some other people hooked on it up there. I love Eddie. He's a good friend. But he was the innovator to get that pellet deal out there for everybody.
David Bosca sure likes him.
He does. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
He does. And David does a heck of a job with them too.
Oh, I know. David's a monster. And I don't want to turn it. We've got Frank and I. We were talking. We've got so much to cover tonight, and I don't want to turn it into a competition only thing. Turn your camera back on. I think you turned your camera off, Mike.
What'd I do?
I think you turned your camera off. You did.
Yeah, I got to find it again. Dadgummit.
Now this technology is something I know, but I think you're 2 years younger than I am. You need to know you should be about 2 years better at this than me.
No, when I quit the corporate world, that was it. I wouldn't do it no more.
Oh, there you're back. You
I do
look great.
all of it as possible now.
Hey, Mike, I want to pick out one thing because it just kills me the way that we do chicken nowadays in KCBS.
Right.
What was it like back in 2005? And I don't want to, back in my day, I don't want to turn that into that. But what did you guys turn in for chicken? Did it look like chicken? Same thing.
Everybody did thighs.
The same way.
Yep.
So this
okay. The style changed a little bit of how you did it, but yeah, that was the deal.
Okay.
That was the butter bath.
Yeah.
Use the Obies, sweet and heat with the garlic.
Mm-hmm.
That's everybody was doing it.
Okay.
The only thing that was different was that everybody was putting the other people were putting them in Italian dressing.
They're brining it first in Italian dressing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, what did they do that for?
I don't know. I never did like it. I mean, that's something that always got me. I wouldn't turn anything I didn't like to eat.
I'm not a fan of that.
I didn't like that Italian dressing thing. But man, I mean, it was Oklahoma, Kansas thing. Golly bum.
Yeah. My mom I used to see her when she'd do chicken breasts at home. She'd always brine it in that dressing. But
right.
I mean, she cooked it good, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
She wasn't putting it in a box and turning it in for
My
sick
mother
people.
used to marinate a pork roast in Italian dressing.
Really?
Sure enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I never did like it, to be honest with you. I hope Mom's not watching.
My mom used to make stuff. My mom used to make stuff.
Your mama made it.
Yeah.
Right.
My mom used to make stuffed peppers and salmon cakes. And on those 2 nights, I ate peanut butter and jelly. I tell you what, they had no mercy on us back then. Nowadays,
you grew up like I did. You eat what was on the table.
Yeah, or you ate peanut butter and jelly. those are your choices. Hey, but let's fast forward to about the late 2010s up there.
Okay.
You became the face, and I mean the bona fide face of competition barbecue in those early contest series.
Right.
What was that like, and who were the people responsible for that, Mike? Because I've got those old shows on DVD. I bought them on Amazon, and I would rather watch those than the modern day barbecue pitmasters because they were so much more entertaining. And who was responsible? Was that John Marcus back then? Was that his coming out party?
Yes, it was.
How did that work? Because that is just interesting.
The very first one was John Marcus and Chris Lilly.
Yeah.
They partnered up to do that. And the producer we had was Dave Hamilton. David's a great guy. Still does film today. But yeah, that's the 3 that put this together.
And that one series where you and Ray Lampe, Leanne, Sarah Horowitz was there. Was that in Las Vegas, I think?
That was in Reno.
Reno, okay. I knew somewhere in Nevada. And that was so much, wasn't that so much different than what it morphed into? It was, you remember they had the beautiful long-legged women carrying the food to the judges?
Not that you were watching that.
Oh, I mean, it was Frank. It was. Yeah. I mean, Mike. It was really something, and I wasn't even there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was awesome. That was one of the best times I've had my whole life out there.
I bet. And then,
not because I won, but I mean because it was just a great time. It was very well put together. It was amazing. We were there for 6 or 7 days, and we shot that whole thing just straight through. Sometimes you were working on 2 or 3 hours sleep. If you got lucky, you got to sleep 7 or 8 before you had to come back.
Yeah.
Now
everything you saw there were 2 contests going on, 2 sets going on at one time. There was a wall up, and there was another group going on behind that wall. And when the first one finished, they'd take the wall down, they'd move everybody forward, put the wall up, and put another group back there.
Oh,
wow! It was crazy.
You mentioned were you still working full time back then at that point?
Yes.
So what did you do? Just take vacation from the full-time occupation and
You
say,
know,
guys, I'm out of here
I
for
had
a
a
week?
wonderful boss at the time, and he was okay with me being gone
Now,
to do that.
what did you do, Mike, before you retired?
I've been in the trucking business all my life. First started out as a mechanic, worked my way up to management, and finished it in management.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I finally finished, I had several states that I was over that I managed the shops for.
Yeah. Well, we've got a heck of a background together, then, partner. Because that's been my whole life was fixing cars.
Yeah. Well, when I quit that and I came to D-Light, that's what I did. We opened the shop up, and we did everything from logging equipment to cars and you name it. If it had a key in it to turn over, we'd work on it.
Well,
So,
no wonder we get along so well. But,
yeah.
but let's talk about that series. Kind of, I don't know if it. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I presume that it launched your marketing career in barbecue as well, because you have been at the forefront of and really one of the inventors of barbecue marketing that I can tell what little information historically is out there. What I have found is your name pops up almost at every turn
Yeah.
with sauces and rubs, and talk about that a little bit, because that's an interesting part of what you do.
Yeah, you know, when we went to Reno was the second event that we had done, and when we went out there, John Marcus told us, he said, if you've got a product that you want to get on TV, he said you can bring it with you. So we immediately got a sauce together. I don't know that we put the rub together yet, but I know we did the sauce and put it out on the table out there, and that's kind of what got it all started.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? And you know, actually, it was a black and white label. It was had to happen so fast. We couldn't get color labels done and get them out there. So we started with a black and white label on our sauce. But every time we competed, that was on the table out there. That's what got us started.
Yeah.
And it was just a springboard for the other rubs that we have. We still never changed the sauce. In fact, that's the sauce right there. We just changed the bottle, changed the label a little bit.
Yeah.
So now we have 4 different rubs and we have the sauce. So
And y'all sell that on your laudable.com website.
we sell that on laudablebbq.com.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. Some of it's on Amazon. And we have several retailers across the country that stock it and sell it.
And you know, you kept going, and you've always been, you've got the unique logo. It just seems like, Mike, I don't know, Frank, it just seems like he gets it.
I think he does.
You know, you got it, Mike. I mean, you understood the game a lot, like, and I'll use one of your contemporaries, Myron Mixon. He gets it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other people now who are getting it too,
Right.
because
Yeah.
what we do has become so popular. But what's it like when you're sitting there trying to figure out how, number one, back in 2003, 4, 5, 6, before the internet, or basically the internet in its infancy, no
Yeah.
Facebook, no Instagram.
Thank goodness.
What were you? You know, how did you get the information to the people?
What we had at that point was Ray Basso's Barbecue Forum.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only thing that was out there at the time. And I think the Barbecue Forum is still alive. I'm not sure. I don't do much of that, any of that anymore, hardly. But yeah, that was the premier deal. I mean, there was questions asked, and you get honest answers, and you could get recipes from guys. Were they right? I don't know, but they probably steered you in the right direction. You know.
So
At
this
that time,
was
everybody
an online forum where people, all the big
Yes.
names, would congregate, and y'all would
Yep.
exchange ideas and talk,
Yep.
smack talk, I'm sure, and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. There was a lot of smack talk goes on, but you know, you could tell when somebody really wanted something, somebody would try to help them out.
Mhm.
You know, and that's what it is. BBQforum.com is what it was. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's where I went. That's where Ray Lampe went. You know, Chris Lilly went. I mean, Mike Scrutchfield. I mean, you could just go on and on and on about everybody. Fast Eddie. That's where everybody went.
Mm-hmm. And here we come up to modern day. You missed the barbecue pitmasters phenomenon. I don't know. Did you try to get on any of those, or did they approach
No,
you or anything?
no,
You were
no,
done
I
with it
did
by
not.
then.
No, I did not.
Uh huh. Well, then let's talk about the one of the greatest episodes of Smoked that was ever produced is with you and Harry Sue.
Yeah,
That
that depends
was
if you talk to me or Harry. So
well. I bet Harry. I bet he would agree with me. That was.
Harry, yeah, Harry's a good guy. He's a great guy.
I thought that that was kind of Frank. I don't know if you saw it or not. That was kind of it was a series that. Oh, it started out. I think it was Mo Cason cooked against Myron in like a pilot, and they kept
Right,
showing that, and never, for some reason, it never got legs. But then all of a sudden, after Barbecue Pitmaster Superstars was over, the next season was this series called Smoked. It
right,
matched two pitmasters against each other, and Mike cooked against Harry Sue
Harry
out from
Sue.
Mountain, California. Now,
right.
now, Mike, what was after being off of, I guess, showbiz so long? I guess you were off of it. What was it like going back and getting back in the hang of it?
Well, we had done a couple of chopped episodes in
Yeah.
between there, so it wasn't really all that far away from me. But you learn things as you go. Like I said, you listen more than you talk, and as you start into those things where you kind of know what you can say, what you can't say, when you need to say it, and it just all kind of comes back.
I have a feeling though, is when you weren't acting when you were in this. I think that's the way you are.
That's the way it is. What you
Because
see
What
is
you
what
see
you
is what
get.
you
Yeah.
get, right?
you weren't
Yep.
real talkative on the on the episodes, and you were kind of I think they kind of had to mic you up just to get your little under the breath, like when Harry Sue was running around going, "What is this guy doing?"
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah, yeah. They always want a little bit more than what you're giving them.
And
So
he's pretty intense too, isn't it? Isn't he?
he
I've watched,
is.
I
Yeah,
watched Harry, and
yeah.
he's I've seen him before. I think it was a KC Royal repeat, and he said these people want to party all night long. I got
Yep.
to shut the sides to my tent. I just want to cook.
Yeah, exactly.
well, I thought the tortoise the tortoise and the hare angle they took on that episode was pretty funny.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I brought Barry Johnson on. To be with me out of
Yeah.
Friggin' Pig. Barry's just like me. He don't say a whole lot. He just gets it done.
And y'all got it done. Of course, you won that episode. And I don't know, Mike, are those episodes are they really intense competitions? I mean, or is it more show business and we're gonna figure out
Yeah,
a
there's
winner
a
in the last
lot of
15
show
minutes?
business in it, but it is. It's pretty intense.
Mhm.
You kind of get, you hope you get a good draw of the product, and again, you don't know what you're getting. They kept that all secretive from us until the reveal. So,
Mhm.
and you just had an X amount of time to figure out what you're going to do and get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty intense.
So when I guess are you still out there competing in some events now?
We do one or two contests a year.
Yeah.
We run a mobile food trailer 4 days a week, and that is so time consuming. But it's also a good release for me,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do that.
I want
So
to get to that. I want to get
I'll
to
be-
I want to get to that in a minute,
Okay.
but I don't want to get sidetracked. I get these linear thoughts in my mind.
And you go to Murfreesboro, Arkansas, right?
Illinois.
I go.
Illinois.
Well,
Is it Illinois? No,
yeah, we're here at home one day. We go to Prescott, Arkansas 2 days a week, and Glenwood, Arkansas 1 day a week.
Okay.
The rest of the time I spend cooking, getting ready for the next week. and
So
picking stuff up.
I saw Murfreesboro, and I didn't know there was another Murfreesboro outside of Tennessee when I saw it.
Oh yeah,
There's
Heck
one in
yeah, man.
Illinois. There's a big contest up there. Mike Mills and Amy do a huge
Oh, yeah.
contest in Murfreesboro, Illinois. Yeah,
Yeah, I've cooked that contest.
I bet you probably won it.
That's no, I didn't win it, but that's one to go to.
I bet.
Yeah,
But hey,
Yeah.
let's talk about these side businesses. I watched a couple of years ago. I was watching YouTube and all of a sudden I come across there's Mike Davis, and it was right after you and I spoke. You were going to do that. You were going to do a school down in Alabama, and I was all signed up for it. You guys had to cancel it,
Right.
and you and I spoke a couple times. We were trying to figure out where you might be because I really wanted to do your school, and I still do. But let's talk about the pit building business because that's something that that's a very competitive business. Now, did you ever think that this many people would be trying to design and sell pits and bring it to the market?
No, I did not. For me, it was, cooking on 4 or 5 different kinds of pits, and one pit manufacturer that sponsored us actually let me go in and design the pit, which was very eye opening for me. He kept, I'm already 10, 12 years into this thing, and I know what works.
Mm-hmm.
But he was pretty hard headed. He's like, this won't work, And he kept telling me about all this stuff he has. I don't care. I know how heat and smoke work, So this is what I want to do. And he finally did it, and it was phenomenal. Fast forward, we cooked on probably, like I said, 4 or 5 different pits, and I had a good friend of mine up in Knoxville, Tennessee, George Ewart, which is Dead End Barbecue. Came to me one day and he says, "Hey," he said, "you want to build pits?" I said, "Man, I ain't got time to build pits." He said, "No," he said, "you want to get in on it?" He said, "Let's build them." Okay, you got somebody to do that? Because I ain't got time. Yeah, I do. So that's kind of what we did. And it was really gratifying to be able to put your whole design into a pit that works.
Now, on Champion Pits, are they built, Mike, for competitors, or are you trying to capture the backyard market at all?
That's the thing. We build the pit we build for competition is the same pit that you can buy to put in your backyard, just on a different stand. One's on a trailer, one's on a cart, one's on a freestanding stand, so it can stand alone. But we build all the pits the same.
So with stick burner?
Yep.
I presume.
Yep. You can run stick burner. You can run it stick burner. You can run charcoal in it. Whatever you want to do, it will take it.
But it's an offset model, though, right?
It is an offset, yes, sir.
And that's
fully insulated.
Yeah.
Powder coated. We powder coat the trailer. We powder coat the whole thing.
I tell you, I've got a couple different gravity fed smokers what we use in contests. But when I cook at home and I'm doing a big cook, I've got a big old offset. It's expressed by HBT. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, HBT smokers down here in Alabama. They build them, and the taste you get on them, especially on a brisket, you just can't replicate it. I don't think on a
or pellet for that matter.
Yeah, I don't think. People might say I'm crazy, but that's just me.
No, I think there's a lot of truth in that. When you talk about cooking with wood, I've been buying my competition wood I bought from one guy all my competition career, and I still do to this day, because I think it makes a difference where the wood grows at, the climate that it grows in. If you take a piece of hickory that comes off a mountain, most of the time it's water starved, so it doesn't grow. It's not dense enough, to put off the smell that you want. Mm-hmm. But if you take a hickory tree that's grown in a sandy creek bottom, and you cut that, you dry it, and you cook it, you will have the sweetest smell you have ever smelled in your life.
There's going to be some trees going down here tomorrow afternoon after that time Steve and I get home.
And
Sandy Creek
bottom.
I'm writing this down. Sandy Creek bottom. Who do we know has a creek in their backyard?
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I lived in Oklahoma, I drove 5 hours to get this guy, to pick up wood from this guy.
Good Lord.
And I would stash it in Oklahoma. And I had a good friend of mine, John Swift, that had a place in Mulberry, Tennessee, and I would stash part of it over there. So I could stay out for 6 or 8 weeks at a time and still cook with the same wood every weekend.
Separate the booty, right?
Yep.
So what you've done all your adult life is you brought competition barbecue to the forefront. You were one of the guys that I kind of like what Dolly Parton said one time when somebody criticized her for, they say, Dolly, you're leaving country music. She says, I'm not leaving country music. I'm taking country music with me. And
There you go.
it's kind of like what you did with Competition Barbecue, Mike. You and a select group of guys took it to the next level, where you got people like John Marcus. And if you don't know who John Marcus is, John Marcus used to be the writer, and he's an Emmy Award winner. He wrote for a little show called The Cosby Show for years.
Right.
So he was pretty successful in the television business. So he knew what he was doing. But what I love most about you is you've come full circle, and now you're in a food truck.
Yep.
And I love following your post on Facebook. It's like you've gotten down to the grassroots of the barbecue. What we all like to do is I don't have a food truck. I don't have any wants to be in the restaurant business, but I love to cook a lot of food. Frank and I both do, and occasionally we like to get together and we like to sell it, and we get a kick out of that. And there's nothing more satisfying is when you cook food and somebody pays you for it, and then they come back and tells you how good it is. So what was the impetus of opening up this food truck? Because, brother, there ain't nothing easy about owning a food truck.
No, there's not. There absolutely is not. People look at what we had a big time with people that had restaurants, and they say, this guy's got a little trailer. It's like, so I mean, I don't have the overhead that you got. He says, well, you're hurting my business. I'm not hurting your business. Cook better food.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing the best I can. Well, I'm doing the best I can too.
Mike, you are so right. The food trucks do not hurt. It's proven they do not hurt. They'll help a brick and mortar.
Absolutely.
If you park, because it brings. That's why they put the car dealers all together. Everybody. I mean, that's why the car dealers are on the same street in every town.
Yeah.
It's because it brings everybody in.
And a Lowe's and Home Depot are side by
side.
You
can in our Lowe's here in our part of Chattanooga, you can throw a baseball and hit Home Depot.
Yeah.
Well, when I was younger, I could. Can't anymore. But that's part of the deal, man. You make like a food court and you get a bunch of people together, and everybody has a big day.
Yeah. Where we're at here in the little town we live in Delight, it's 279 population. So I can't build a food court here.
No.
But I go over to the big towns where they got 3,400 or 3,600. That's what I'm talking about. I go to Prescott. We go to Prescott twice a week. It's a 3,600 population town, and we are flat wore out by the time those days are over with.
Now, what are you serving out of your truck?
We serve chopped or sliced brisket, pulled pork, jalapeno cheese sausage, smoked sausage. We brine half chickens and have a half chicken plate, and we do ribs, smoked bologna, a lot of smoked bologna.
Gotta love
I
some
love
smoked
smoked
bologna. I
bologna.
know.
I love smoked bologna.
Me too.
I tell you, if I swear, if there's a brisket and a smoked bologna sitting next to each other, I eat the bologna.
Yeah, man.
And I love brisket. But I mean, it's just, I never knew how good it was until our buddy Jim Brewer made me eat some.
God bless his soul.
I wouldn't touch it. Then he made me eat it one time. I said, "My God, this is the best thing I've ever put in my mouth."
We gave that away at the Big Egg Gizmo, and we had filet mignon. And I told people, try this smoked bologna. Tell me what you think. They would eat it and go, "Oh my God, this stuff is good."
Yep.
You're into, Mike. Why does smoked bologna? You eat that stuff raw. It's not that good. I mean, if you just get it out of the, if you get it out of the case and cut it for a sandwich, it tastes like crap. But then you smoke it. What makes it? I know the smoke flavor and everything, but it changes the inside. What is? Do you know why it does that?
I do not know. I wish I did know, because it's such a transformation.
Yeah, there's something pretty doggone scientific.
Magical.
There's something scientific going on inside that bologna.
Yeah, maybe we need to look into that a little further.
We might need to Google
some
smoked bologna.
Molecular transformation.
Yeah. So is the food truck everything you thought it was going to be? Is it harder? Is it easier? Or is it I guess, is it as satisfying as you were hoping it would be?
I guess it is. You always think it's going to be a little easier than what it actually is. I listened to guys that had been doing it for a long time, and they say, "Oh man, you can set up and make X amount of money here, and just go home and work 3 hours a day." And I ain't figured out how to do that yet.
Yeah,
3 hours a day.
I get up at 5:30 and I don't get done till 6 o'clock in the evening.
You
So
can't even prep.
I don't know
3
what they're
hours a
doing,
day.
but
well,
I mean,
you can sell 3 hours, but it takes 8 hours of
Prep,
prepping, then
yeah.
8 hours of cleaning up.
yeah,
So it's 19
it's
hours.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And so let me ask you something. How do you hold a brisket?
I
Gently.
have a CVAP that I hold it in.
A what?
A CVAP. That's a holding cabinet that has water in it, maintains the temperature and the humidity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that keeps it nice and moist.
Yes.
Because I noticed, sometimes when you go to different barbecue contests, I want to talk about that YouTube channel too. Don't forget, because I watched your new one. I watched your new one today. It was really good. Sometimes you go and they're really moist. The brisket is, but sometimes you go to a restaurant and it's really dry.
Yeah.
And I guess I always know it's just so hard. It seems like brisket's the hardest thing. If I just looking at it, it's hardest thing to hold and sell and still maintain a quality. You can do
Quality
pork butts
product.
and chicken, but is that am I on the right track there, Mike?
Yeah,
Is that the hardest thing?
A couple things go wrong with brisket. Either you overcook it and you lose all the juice, even when you wrap it. If you overcook it and you keep it in the wrap too long,
Mm-hmm.
when you come out of the wrap, that's when it's going to dry on you really
Yeah.
quick.
It does.
You
real
you
quick.
got to get that temperature in there just right so
Mhm.
that you can pull it and hold it. Same thing happens with chicken. People say, "Oh, well, you got to make sure that chicken's done." Well, 160 degrees in the thigh joint, or till it runs clear. If you
Mhm.
go much more than that, by the time I hold that chicken 3 or 4 hours into the day, it's like mush.
Yeah.
You got to know your equipment and know what's going to happen with it once you take it out and once you put it into your holding. And if you don't know that, you're in bad trouble.
Well, that menu that you have, that's incredible for a food truck. Usually on a barbecue truck, you see very little brisket. Around here in Chattanooga, you see very little. You don't see a lot of brisket at the barbecue
Period.
places.
Period.
You
Yeah,
just don't see
I
it.
probably outsell brisket. Probably outsells pork nearly every day.
And I think that may be part of the country that you're in also. I think you
It
guys are
probably is.
lean
Yeah.
more towards the brisket.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with laziness. It's just brisket's so hard to cook. It's high maintenance.
It's hard, it's expensive, and you don't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the price just keeps going up. But at the same time, we don't skimp on quality. I cook prime upper choice and prime briskets every day. And to be honest with you, right now I'm paying $3.67 a pound.
You need
For
to go to Costco, brother. Shameless plug here.
He lives in Delight, Arkansas. They probably got
$3.29 a pound.
a Piggly Wiggly and a Steve Ray's Midnight Oil gas station.
Can you fly into a nearby Costco?
Hey, let's talk about now. Let's talk about. I know you've been all over YouTube in the past, and you always do a great job. And Mike's one of those guys. He always looks the same. Jean shorts, white T-shirt, truck driver's hat, and tennis shoes.
Yep.
And that's what he had on when I met you in Nashville. Same
That's the
thing.
uniform,
Right.
Yeah,
right?
that's the Mike Davis uniform, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it.
What you see is what you get.
You and Kevin Jacques are got something going called Meat Revival, and I know it's sort of a, I don't want to say a brand new venture. You've been at it for a little bit, but that thing's really gathering steam. You're up over 1,000 subscribers already.
Right. Yeah, it really is. We just kind of took that on a whim, and it's like, I wonder if we can do anything with this, and we kind of got our heads together and did a couple, and yeah, it's kind of taken off.
Now, I tell you, I've got Mike, I don't know if you know how much you know about me, probably nothing. I own a gas station here in town.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
And we got a Coca-Cola guy. He comes by every week and brings us our Cokes for a cooler. Name is Mike Lowry. And I was telling him, I said, I watched the most, because I love grilled cheese sandwiches. And I said, let me tell you what I did last night, Mike. I made a grilled cheese sandwich, and instead of using butter, I used mayonnaise on each side of the outer bread. He goes, mayonnaise? I said, yes, mayonnaise. And he goes, where did you hear that? I said, let me show you. And we went on YouTube this morning. I'm talking 6:30 in the morning. He and I are on at my desk watching you and Kevin and Mark Lambert cook a French onion soup, grilled cheese sandwich.
That was so awesome.
And I just watched you when you guys sat down and ate it. I could tell, you could tell when somebody eats something and they give the old fake, oh, this is so great, that stuff. But Kevin, I thought was going to fall off the stool.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I mean, I came home. I made it last night here. I went. Our store was out of our local Publix was out of sourdough bread, so I got some Italian bread that looked just like sourdough, and I just made it with I like tomato on my grilled cheese, so I got a couple of those Florida tomatoes on there.
They suck.
Those hard. That's all right. And cheese, and I did it just like you guys did it with the mayonnaise. Mike, I swear to God, if that wasn't the best thing I ever put in my mouth, I don't know what was since fried bologna or since smoked bologna.
Yeah,
that stuff is delicious.
Yeah, that was kind of Mark's idea to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we were off camera, it's like, how did you come up with using the mayonnaise? He said, I was out of butter.
Are you kidding me? I was out of butter.
The mother of invention.
Yeah. And so he just looks in there and says, well, there's some mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Now we were talking, and Mike Lowry said, he goes, you're not going to believe this. He says, I'm a grilled cheese sandwich connoisseur.
And I like it.
He said, I love them. And I can't wait to talk to him next Wednesday when he comes by raising my cokes, because I know he's trying. I think he's watching tonight too here on Facebook Live. But what else? You got you did the taco things. What was the other one I watched? It was so good. What were some of the other ones, Mike? Gosh,
trying to think now what we did do.
Well, anyway, the last couple y'all have gone to restaurants and did like barbecue restaurant reviews. Y'all went to Central Barbecue in Memphis. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great idea. The way you and Kevin are doing it, it's like you just walk in and surprise them. Do you tell them you're coming, or do you just bebop in?
Yeah, nobody knew we were coming,
which is even better.
And then now set that up for everybody watching, because they'll want to go to your YouTube page, which is Meat Revival.
Meat Revival, a baptism and smoke.
And it's gathering steam. Set that scene up for everybody watching and listening, because that's kind of cool.
On the Meat Revival, or the
going into these restaurants and just popping in and doing the Facebook Live thing.
Actually, that kind of caught us where we had done some filming at Kevin's house, and we just needed something else to do and something to make something interesting. Well, Memphis is about halfway for us, and it's like, well, let's go to a couple of barbecue joints and just check them out. You think they'll let us do that? He's like, yeah, I'm sure they would. And we did not call any ahead of time. We popped in, and people, kind of looked at us like, you want to do what?
I think it's great.
You're going to do what with that? And once we explained it to them, they welcomed us like nobody's business. Brought us, and to be honest with you, we paid for everything we ate.
And it gave them some great publicity too.
Yeah, we didn't ask for anything to be given to us. And we told them, we would let you know when this is coming out. And I think they cut us a deal on it. But, the food that they brought was right off the line. It was nothing special. And that's what we asked for. They took us around. They introduced us to people. They took us in the back. They showed us the pit. That's where everything's cooked, where it was cooking at the time. Man, they were all of them were really gracious hosts.
Well, I want everybody to make sure they go to YouTube and click on Meat Revival, and please subscribe and hit the bell for Mike and Kevin, because it is it's a wonderful series. It's a real
sounds like a lot of fun too.
It's a real down home thing, Frank, the way Mike and Kevin do it, and it's real. It's not the grilled cheese.
No cameras, no producers.
The grilled cheese episode's really cool, because they sit around and they're talking to each other. And then, I know the one I was talking about, Mike, when Kevin did the competition chicken thighs.
Yes.
The way they now you've got Mike Davis and Mark Lambert watching Kevin Jockeys cook chicken thighs. 3 literal barbecue. I'm not talking competitors like me and you, also rans. I mean, you know,
Pros.
you got Mike
Pros.
Davis, a world champion. You've got Mark Lambert, who just happened to win the Houston Livestock and Rodeo contest a week
and
ago.
he's several-time world champion.
Yeah, and they're sitting around talking about barbecue, asking each other questions, and I can't take the notes fast enough. I'm sitting there scribbling them down,
That's
going,
called shigging.
oh my gosh. You're darn right I'm going to shig.
Excuse
If
me.
you're going to put it out, if you can put it out there on YouTube, I'm writing it down. buddy.
and recording too, Mike, by the way.
Exactly right. I got a big screen in my trailer. I'm going to punch you guys up
He's going to
on.
broadcast it across the neighborhood.
Okay, Mike, we've got a big chicken wing contest coming up here in Chattanooga on March the 30th. It's the UTC, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga spring football game. They have a fan fest. And this is the 4th annual chicken wing contest. And Frank and I, we've been there all 4 years. And by golly, we're tired of walking out of here without the money. And so what we're doing, we're calling in all of the best pit masters we can find.
All the favorites.
And I can't believe we're even going to get your recipe. But I want you to share with us the Mike Davis award-winning chicken wing recipe.
I will do that. You know, first off, there's a couple things you can do. Kevin, and I don't want to plug Kevin Steele here, but this is a party foul brine that Kevin produces and sells. If you think you need a little more moisture in your chicken, use that brine. It works wonderful. I like it. My recipe is going to come from our red dirt product, which is actually our brisket rub. We take the wings and we separate. We don't cook the wing tip. We cut the drummy off the flapper, you know, and that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So, you know, we deep fry in about 370 degrees at the point. Before you go into it, we coat them with kosher salt and let them set about 30 minutes. Don't wash them off. Just take them straight to the fryer at that point.
So you're not smoking them at all, right?
No.
Deep frying.
You can, but I'm telling you.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm not going to question you.
I was going to say maybe that's what I like and I shouldn't listen to. Is what we've been cooking.
Well, as soon as the wings are done, whatever temperature you're going to take them to, you know, with chicken, you got to be safe. You make sure they're done. You pull them out, and as soon as you do, you hit them with a light dusting of the red dirt. Then you're going to hit it in. You melt a stick of butter, and then you put a little red dirt in that. Then you put some garlic, granulated garlic in that, and then you put some Parmesan cheese in it.
Ooh.
Parmesan, and just brush them.
And mix that up.
Mix that up.
Okay.
And then take your wings while they're still hot. You got to do it really fast. But take your wings, put them in a bowl, and then pour that butter mixture over the top of them, and just toss them.
Ooh.
And then once it comes out of that, take them and put them in a pan. Don't put them on paper towel because it soaks up too much of the stuff. They won't be greasy at all. And they'll, you know, and cooking at a higher temperature, you know, everybody say, well, you know, cook it at 350 degrees. But if you cook at 370, I found that when you take them out, if you'll sit there and look at it for just a second, you start seeing the grease dry off of them. So they're not going to be greasy when you get them. After
you take them out of the bowl, do you put a coat of anything else on them as a final?
If it looks like it needs it, I may touch it with some more Parmesan, but that would be it.
So the Parmesan doesn't, when you sit there and flip them in a bowl, it's not Parmesan's not going all the way to the bottom. It's actually adhering, I guess, because they're hot, still hot.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can use a real Parmesan. You know, don't use the
that crap
powder stuff in the shaker.
Yeah,
the stuff's got sawdust in it.
yeah, lots of paper in it. But
now, see, I would have thought that your recipe would have been a smoke or some sort of grilled smoke combination. Yeah.
But see, he also
You know,
you brine
we
them
we
also.
have done that before. We have smoked them and then deep fried them. But I cook stuff like I want to eat it, and
Yeah.
that's, to me, that is the best tasting wing out there.
Well, buddy, one thing Frank and I have is equipment.
Yeah, and
We got deep fryers.
and we have ears, and we have two of them, and we listen.
We're those guys that look good coming to the contest, and then the guy with the Weber kettle guy in the pop up beats us
for $99.
yeah,
Oh, good Lord. Have I seen that happen so many times?
we're that guys. We're that guys, but we don't care.
We're the Harry Sue at
Yeah,
Chattanooga.
yeah, we're that guy.
Yeah.
Mike Davis, thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys.
You
man.
have
This
been
has been awesome.
You have been just a joy. Everybody go to Mike's YouTube page, Meat Revival. He and Kevin Jack Keys, they have got a great thing going. And go ahead, Frank.
Just real quick. So, Mike, question for you from John McGuire. Put it out there again about the smokers, please, if you don't mind, or Al. Sorry.
The Champion Smokers.
Yeah, get him and mention the smokers again.
Okay. The Champion Smokers are at 4tchampion.com. They're built right there in Tennessee, up at Knoxville, at Quality Steel.
Mhm.
Everything we build is competition grade. Nothing. We don't do the cheap one over here and the better one over there. If you buy a smoker from us, it's the same thing that you're going to see these guys, Jeff Alexander and Smoke Me Silly. These guys running on a week out deal. That's the same cooker they're cooking on.
Okay. So Smoke Me Silly's cooking on a Champion.
Yes.
Okay. Knoxville's just 85 miles to the north. That's where I'm from, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One real quick. I've been tracking where people have been watching. Oklahoma, New England, tip of Florida, everywhere in between. But we have I think we've got an all-time winner here from Xiang, China. John
Really?
John Kelly, guy that I know, happened to move over there from Maryland about a year ago. So, John, you win the door prize. You ever get back to the U.S.?
You win a Champion smoker. Pick it up.
Call him. You'll go get it.
Mike Davis, thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll let you know how we did on that chicken contest, okay?
Please do.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Mike Davis.
Y'all have a good evening.
You betcha.
See you,
We're
man.
going to try to get that mouse right over there. We'll do this, do that, and we're going to do that. We hung up on him. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted him, and we're going to bring him back up on the big screen. What a great guy, Mike Davis.
Hey, great guy.
You know, Frank, when I met him in Nashville at the National Barbecue Cup, he and David Bosco were big buddies. They took the time and they sat there and they included me in with the conversation. Usually guys go, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah.
And but not those two. They were just fantastic.
Down to earth, good human being.
Hey, don't forget, March the 30th at the Pavilion is the UTC 4th Annual Chicken Wing Contest. Frank and I will be there. We've got Mark Franklin is going to be there. Chef Nick Thiers is going to be there. Dennis Roby is going to be there. I'm doing this all from memory. Let's see. Antonio Tate, Chef Tone is going to be there. Did you know that? He's formidable.
Yes.
So he's awesome. In several. We're going to have probably
Edley's Barbecue.
Yeah.
Edley's Barbecue.
Edley's going to be there too. I think we're going to have probably 20 to 25 teams.
Yeah.
And folks, that's a lot of chicken, and it's going to be free. So come on down, set your calendar. March 30th, we'll be down there all day. And the chicken wing contest is actually over before the spring game starts. Cross your fingers for good weather. I think Coach Rusty Wright will have a real good. He'll probably play a game. I believe Rusty will.
Yeah.
In the last 4 years, we haven't had a game. We've had a something or other. But anyway,
Scrimmage.
I think Rusty will have a real game, and we can't wait for that. So next Wednesday, right back here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show, we'll have another nationally known or maybe locally known pitmaster, and we'll have more information on the wing contest as we get closer, and we'll have another chicken wing recipe. Did you get all these written down?
I've already recorded this thing. What are you talking
I
about?
would hope you did.
I don't need to write it down.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
Good night, all.
Thank you so much for listening, and we are going to head out of here as soon as I can do this. And I can do this.
And we don't have a professional producer, by
Yes,
the way.
but we're doing really good, though.
For